Before we jump into this chapter, it's important to know that sometimes when you open the score editor, your notes can seem all jumbled up into one little corner like this. If you want to adjust this without affecting the score in any way, hold down Ctrl or Command on your keyboard and use your mouse wheel to zoom in and zoom out. This doesn't affect the score in any way, only the way it appears to you now. And on with the chapter. Now let's talk about polyphonic voicing. We're going to learn how to decide when to use polyphonic voicing and how to set it up. We'll also take a look at automatically converting your score to polyphonic voicing and how to enter and move notes into voices. Take a look at my example. The first bar should have the tied F looking like a whole note with rests between the A's. And stems should be going up on these notes for this bar. And we should have a split staff here. Double-click before the staff to open the staff settings window. Now go to the Polyphonic tab. You can change this staff to a simple piano split, but we want to have greater control by choosing Polyphonic here. This allows us to have 8 voices that you can turn on and off for the treble and bass clef. You can have 4 in the treble and 4 in the bass. Generally, these default settings are all you need. We want an upper and lower in each clef. 2 on in the treble and 2 on in the bass. MIDI channels can also be assigned here if you're using any as a MIDI output. Normally you wouldn't use this as it can lead to confusion, but if you're keeping track of your MIDI, it's great for quick arranging. Q means that the notes are visually smaller, like Q notes. You can decide if you want to show rests for this voice and if they are centered. Reduce rests is ideal for Q voices in that if there are many bars of rest, the rest won't be shown. And you can decide whether the stems should be up or down. Like I said, the defaults should be fine. We can change them if we need to afterwards. Now let's hit apply. You may get a dialog that says, some notes will not belong to any voice and may be hidden. Correct these notes? Choose correct. In our case, we didn't see that, but it might come up. Let's talk about what just happened. Click on the treble clef. See how it says 1 and 2 up here? When we click on the bass clef, see how it says 5 and 6? These are the voices that we just created. Our notes are all still on voice 1. Just click on them and see. Let's move them to different voices. There are a couple of ways to do this. Let's grab the F notes in the first bar. Now right-click and select Move to Voice 2 from the Move to Voice submenu. See the F is on voice 2 and the A's are on voice 1? It looks nicer already. Now let's do bar 2 a different way. Select the notes we want. Hold down the Ctrl or Command key and click on voice 2. We can also use the Explode method. Go to the Scores menu, Functions, and select Explode. Make sure to Polyphonic Voices is selected because we don't want to create any new tracks. I'm just going to choose Lines to Tracks and uncheck everything else. Now you can see that these notes are on voice 2. That may still not be the way you want to see it. Let's take them even further to voice 5. Select the notes and choose Move to Voice 5. Now in the staff settings, we choose Automatic for the stems in voice 5. We can change this to up if we're writing a tenor line. You may get into a situation where you will need to cross voices. Let's go to the staff settings and change the score to polyphonic. Choose Optimize 2 voices in the presets. Click Apply and then close the window. Now use Explode and make sure Lines to Tracks is the only option selected. These voices still aren't crossing, so move these top notes into voice 2 and these bottom notes into voice 1. It looks a bit bunched up, so take the Graphic Move tool and change the appearance of the top 2/8 notes. You will only be able to access the Graphic Move tool if you are in page mode. Yikes! Even using my scroll wheel doesn't fix this mess. Let's move some of these bar lines around for some breathing space. Remember, this is only changing it graphically. The notes are still perfectly in time. It looks a bit bunched up, so take the Graphic Move tool and change the appearance of the top 2/8 notes. By the way, you can take any note you want and flip the stems using this button here to make things look right without having to go into the polyphonic settings window. You can also double-click on a note and make it look like anything you want. There's lots of options here.